Hey everyone, today I'm here at Black Mountain Motorworks. Going to be working on this awesome E36 M3, super low mileage. It's an amazing space, super cool guy, working on the car for him. And we're going to give it a full two-step compound and correction, ceramic coat, interior, exterior detail. It's going to be very thorough and totally awesome. But first, I want you guys to just appreciate this space.
This garage was amazing. It was jam-packed full of Porsches, Vipers, Ferraris, Corvettes, McLarens, you name it, it was in there. An amazing space to be able to have visited. My studio is actually located very nearby to this location, so the owner was kind enough to let me drive it back, and in a short period I did drive it. It was pretty amazing.
This is the type of work that I love the most. This is a 1995 BMW M3 in Cosmos Black Metallic. It is a 35,000 mile example, and the paint, well, it's seen some better days. Tons of swirl marks. There's some weird sort of hazing, miscoloration on the hood. There's some paint drips on the spoiler. This car is the definition of a perfect candidate for a full paint restoration. We have a two-stage compound and polish today. It's already clean, so all of you fake detailing watchers out there who are only in it for the satisfaction power wash, this video isn't for you. This is going to be an amazing transformation of an incredible German classic that I think is going to blow everyone away. Step one on this detail is going to be to use chemicals and a clay mitt to dissolve and remove microscopic particles from the pores of the paint. Paint is porous, just like your skin, and over years, dust, debris, road grime, bits of rust, and fallout from the environment will embed themselves in your paint. To demonstrate this to you, I'm going to rub my hand against the paint, and you'll be able to hear the rough, sandpapery texture of the paint.
Here I am spraying the Iron X in order to help dissolve the embedded iron in the paint, following up with the clay mitt in order to gently lift and remove embedded contaminants. Another shot here of me doing it on the side of the car. The M3 really is iconic with that sticker on the side there, and washing off the chemicals in order to leave a fresh, clean paint finish.
All right, everyone, the car has been decontaminated and clay barred. As you can hear, the paint is free of contaminants. So that means at this point, we are free to begin our first step of the paint correction process, which is compounding. BMWs from this era are known for having very hard paint. That means I'll be using an aggressive pad and compound combination in order to bust through as much of that paint as possible to reveal a smooth layer to go and refine with polish and softer pads after this.
You can really see how deep a lot of these scratches are, as well as that weird irregularity in the hood. You can see on the roof here some sort of chemical acid etching into the paint, which I was unable to address. Here's the boot lid with the spoiler, both super swirled up, and the back of the car. We all know how difficult it is to polish such an irregular form. I went ahead and did some wet sanding on the hood of this car on the irregular portion, using 3000 grit, using back and forth motions, making sure to check the thickness often, polish it up, and it was better, but still not perfect.
A super important step before you use a heavy compound like this is to check the thickness of the paint. This is so we know that there's enough material there to chip away at and flatten without risking burning through the clear coat and ruining the finish. Going around here, we're getting some pretty healthy readings: 10 mil, 7 mil, 8 mil, 11 mil, 10 mil. We have plenty to work with here, and we're going to go ahead and take off a few mil of that top layer to restore the finish.
This hood was nearly the death of me. The paint was so thick and so hard you could park this machine with Meguiar's 105 and a microfiber in one spot for 10 or 15 seconds, and it wouldn't even start to remove some of the deeper scratches. There were so many of them. I did a 50-50 here, and the results were not as dramatic as I'd like so far as removal of the deeper scratches, which you can see around the light there, so I went and made another pass. But the owner said that if I couldn't get rid of that spot by the badge, he would just repaint the hood, so the hood was not that big of a concern for me today. The vertical portions of the car came out really well. It's incredible the results you can get when you're not using your car as a shelf and chemical storage like this one was. But there was example after example on the fenders, the door panels, and even parts of the rear bumper that had incredible results from my compounding, and really happy with the way that the at least vertical portions of this car turned out. Now, it was clear that someone had repainted this rear bumper poorly. They had left sanding marks all over. They had burned through the clear coat actually in a couple places with their polisher, and I was able to remedy some of their mistakes. The back of a car is easily the most miserable part of a polish like this. It's super irregular and hard to get, but really happy with the transformation I was able to get here. Of course, no full detail is complete without actually getting every detail, and that includes some of these really inconvenient parts like the front bumper. Here's an example of the 50-50 on the wing versus the trunk lid. And here I am going at it with a 1/2-inch rotary pad on the super demolished moonroof section of the car. It was too small to get in with anything bigger than that, so I had to use a little 1/2-inch and some compound. Another example of the type of stuff that was left behind on the rear bumper, the sanding marks in particular, was able to go and refine that, and as you can tell, I was pretty stoked about it.
15 hours later, we're halfway done. I went over every single painted surface on this car with my 6-inch orbital and a 3-inch rotary, and we got out almost all of the deeper scratches and swirl marks on this car. That said, it was relatively thin paint, so there were a few little spots that I couldn't get for risk of burning through the paint, but otherwise, super happy with the result today on the compounding stage. Next, we're going to polish it and bring a super flat surface to make it shine like crazy.
I used a Buff and Shine blue pad with Sonax Perfect Finish in order to polish the paint on this car. It went pretty smoothly, and I was super locked in when I was trying to do it, so I didn't get that much footage, but trust me when I was just as thorough as the compounding stage doing every little bit of this car.
We powered through the polishing portion, and now we're going to go to the interior. One of my least favorite parts, but it's got to be done. It's not very dirty, but we're just going to do our best to extract some of the carpet, get rid of some of the smell in there, condition the leather seats to make sure that they're nice and supple, and see what else we got ahead of us there. Interior is finished. It was pretty quick. Just needed to extract and condition the leather as it was pretty dry. But now on to the final step. I gave the whole car an isopropyl wipe down, and it's time to apply the ceramic coating.
I used a Naziol 5-year ceramic coating across the entire car, as you could tell with my on the ground positioning right now. I, for some reason, only really got shots of me on the ground applying it, but I promise I did the top of the car too. But really excited. It was an easy process, followed manufacturer directions, and was able to get a good result with the ceramic coating.
It's done. Over 30 hours went into this BMW M3 restoration, all the way down to a 1/2-inch diameter foam pad on a rotary, correcting every little minute detail of this car to perfection. That said, there were some areas that didn't come out how I'd like, namely the hood, which was repainted poorly, and a part of the roof over there, which has some sort of weird chemical acid burns in it. But otherwise, particularly the vertical surfaces of this car on the side, all the way up and down, came out better than I could have imagined. This car now looks like it should as a 35,000 mile example, and I think the owner will be super pleased with it.
As great as these final shots look on video, the actual transformation of this vehicle cannot be overstated and or really shown on video due to how dramatic it was. This car came out as a different color, nearly. I removed so much dead paint from the top layers, so many deep scratches and swirls, you really couldn't even see the metallic in the car before this, but it came out super glossy, shiny, able to see that beautiful deep metallic bluish black, and the owner was extremely satisfied with this job, as I would be as well. The interior came out amazing as well, got rid of the smell, and it was clean, but able to stripe up the carpet and make it look extremely well presented. Super happy with the result today. I want to thank everyone for watching. This was another attempt at a video in this style. Still getting the hang of it, but glad you stuck around. Leave some comments and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thank you.